So when it's powered on, it does a blue screen like this for no signal. I got this plugged in, it's got powered on. Hey guys, InverterDude14 here. Today we're looking at the Super Joy 3, which is essentially a knockoff of the classic Nintendo 64 controller design. I purchased this for only a few bucks at the local flea market and thought it would make a neat video, even if it's not functional. So, starting from the back, we have the power switch, DC power jack, a second joystick input, mono audio, and video out. On the front, we have the buttons obviously. There's a missing analog stick. Hopefully that's not too important. On the back, we have the battery pack, which holds 4 AA batteries, sort of like an Xbox 360 controller, even though it only holds 2. There's also this interesting port for game cartridges. It appears to come with one already in it. After further inspection of both the cartridge as well as the port, I wonder if this knockoff was meant to also emulate the NES console and play NES cartridges. So now we're going to do a quick live test and see if this thing works or not. I have it hooked up to this little screen here. Just power it on. Like that. So when it's powered on, it does a blue screen like this for no signal. I got this plugged in, it's got powered on. Oh! Dang, now that's interesting, I guess. Not quite sure what that is. You can see a lot of different characters and stuff there showing up. I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't know. Cycle the power. Oh. So obviously, from the looks of it here, something is pretty messed up in the chips, or maybe it's the card in the back. Live test number 2 begins. Chip has been removed, as you can see. So that's the chip. I don't know. So it's out of the cartridge slot. Just gotta plug it back into power and see what happens with it. I doubt anything major, but you never know. Maybe it works without the chip and has games built into it. I have no idea. It's one of those plug and play things, so you never know. Let's see, just plug that in. Got the screen on. Here's the screen. Let's see what happens. Okay, nope, no difference. It's still making crazy shapes over here. We got red shapes, all sorts of stuff. Whoa. And I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but it all is getting like really pixelated. Like it's pixelating each of those squares. The longer I keep it on, it gets more and more. That's very strange. I don't know what that means. I didn't expect too much from it, to be honest, for the price I got it and because, you know, it's a knockoff device. Probably the next thing I'm going to do is just look at the insides because I'm a little curious as to like the build quality on the inside of this thing. The buttons are pretty bad buttons and stuff. I wonder about the analog stick, if it's actually real or if this was just a fake, because I've been looking at it and I'm not even sure if it was actually a real analog stick, to be honest. It might not have been. It might have just been like a plastic fake so it looked like Nintendo 64. So I'm going to open it up and look at the insides. I suspect there's going to be a lot of hot glue and a lot of messy soldering on the inside. So let's open it up.
Through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Teardown, I noticed some things that were kind of funny about it, like, for example here, they use like paper, it looks like a brown paper bag type material, I'm not really sure, to try to shield the pins, which I find just ridiculous, but that's what they decided to use. And on the bottom here, I found some pretty bad soldering points. I mean, they work, they're good solder points, but it's obvious that they were done by hand. I mean, normally this stuff would be done in a factory, and it looks very neat, like this line of solder points, but obviously these parts were done by hand because they're very blobby, and they're all over the place, especially for the power port and for the audio and video ports over here. So, kind of a mess there. And then obviously, I don't know if you guys noticed during the teardown or not, but the main board here ends right here, and this is where the analog stick is. So obviously the analog stick was totally fake. Definitely not important at all. They just added that to make it have the Nintendo 64 aesthetic. I'll probably end up keeping this for parts or whatever. I could probably use the audio video jacks, those are still good, the power port, the switch. I probably wouldn't try to salvage any of the parts on the board, like the capacitors and stuff like that, because who knows, they're probably really cheap parts and fire hazard. I really wouldn't trust those. The power supply that came with it, I'm not going to trust this. Who knows about the quality of the parts inside it. It's very light, so I get the feeling that they used some really cheap parts. Definitely wouldn't trust this or leave it alone. Probably a fire hazard. So I'm probably gonna throw out this adapter even if I do end up taking this apart. And otherwise, if I don't take it apart, maybe I'll just keep it as a goofy little souvenir as Nintendo 64 knockoff, you know? I hope you guys found this interesting. If you did, let me know in the comments below. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. And once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.